Hello and welcome. I'm Shantae Hightower, an early childhood education business coach. Today, we're talking about, is it time to grow your business for the Virginia Early Childhood Foundation? In today's conversation, we'll go over three things. What are the initial steps that I should take before expanding my business? What resources are there to help me? And how can business coaching support me? When looking to expand my business, what should I look for? Those things could include a needs assessment of the area and services that need to be provided, your finances, staffing needs, and clarify your goals. Resources for assessing needs, creation of budget, and creating a business plan. You also might want to check into resources that can support creating your budget business plan and getting support from a business coach on questions you need to answer. Expanding your childcare business can be a great strategy for the long term that builds productivity, brings in more revenue, and most importantly, brings quality childcare to more children. Let's take a look at what expansion means. It can mean opening a new business for providers who are interested in getting started, or it could be expanding an existing one by adding additional slots or a new location. What does this look like, and what does it mean for your business? Are things we'll discuss today. Sometimes small businesses will grow too fast or move forward without the necessary structure and capacity to execute the expansion, which can weaken or even end a business rather than strengthen it. Growing too fast. That could mean you have a waiting list for children that you're not able to meet. It could also mean the expenses that you have outweigh your revenue. Are you bringing in enough funding to support operations? Do you have the staffing to support your business to maintain licensing standards? Your process or infrastructure can't keep up? Do you need support in developing a new plan to support growth? Where you started may not fit where you currently are. Let's take a look at the 5 steps to expansion planning. 1. Assess your demand. 2. Line up your staff. 3. Develop a clear picture of your finances. 4. Create a business plan. 5. Access capital to support your growth. When looking at assessing your demand, what do you need to know? It's important to know that you have the people available to support your growth. How do you line up your staff? Where do you get them from? Is there a way that you can connect with other businesses or communities to see where the staffing needs may be a match? Developing a clear picture of your finances. What does a clear financial future look like? Things like creating a budget and having capital to support your finances and growth and development so that you can know how you'll operate and for how long is important to know when you're expanding. Creation of a business plan. Why do I need a business plan? And then how do I create it? The business plan outlines your goals for your business, and you can get support in creating it, which we'll discuss later. Now, accessing capital to support your growth. What is access to capital, and how does it support my growth? Discussion of this will be talked about further in step 5. Now let's take a look at step 1, which is assessing your demand. 3 questions you might ask yourself could be, do I have a wait list? This could be the first indicator. It may be a good idea to expand your program. Second, is there a demand for the type of care that I want to offer? Assess the needs of your community. Talk with your current families, those that may be on a wait list, and other community members. Does your growth plan align with the needs of your community? Talk to your current families to better understand their needs and to see if they're willing to be a part of your expanded program. What demand is and how it can look for your business is so important. Are there more infant or toddlers that need slots? It could be preschool age. Are you in an area where the demand is not being met? Could you be in a child care desert, meaning there are not enough licensed or registered child care businesses to adequately serve the number of children in that area? Does your community need additional child care businesses in specific areas? Taking a look at all of these things could be important to you expanding your business. In step 2, we'll look at lining up your staff. It's important to think about this in advance. You may not need every position filled before you start to grow, but you should have a solid idea of what your staffing needs are going to be. You can start with having conversations with your existing staff. If you're expanding into a new region, it's helpful to ask people familiar with the area about ways to attract staff. We recommend that you ensure that you're realistic about your staffing needs and your ability to attract and retain new employees. What does lining up your staff look like for you? Are there staff available in the area? Do they meet the qualifications? Will they need training? These are things to consider. If you're expanding into a new region, is it a child care desert? Meaning, is it an area where there aren't enough slots for licensed child care businesses or even home-based child care? Have you looked at the licensing requirements, the credentials you may need, and the zoning process? Do you have the resources to bring the staff on board? These are all things to consider when you're looking at lining up your staff for your expansion. Now, we're on to step 3, developing a clear picture of your finances. You should ensure that you have a budget for the current year to guide your growth and planning. A budget helps you to understand the needs of your business and the costs that are related to it. Ensure you have a clear picture of your financial health by developing a cash flow forecast for the next 6 to 12 months. A cash flow forecast will allow you to see what your projected earnings are, what's going out, and if you've made any profit. It's also helpful to have a record-keeping system in place to help you understand your finances. Why do I need a system for this? You want to make sure that you're able to have this information readily available, not only for your own understanding, but in the event that you need it for any audits. Now, let's take a deeper look at budget versus cash flow. Your budget. This tells you how much you think you're going to spend and how much you are spending over a year. Your budget is an important part of your business. It demonstrates your understanding of the business's needs and the related costs associated to it. Your cash flow. This tells you how much money you have coming in and going out on a monthly basis. These are both things that are important for providers to know in order to start, operate, and expand operations. Here, we've provided an example for you. Assume that you have $5,000 in expenses over the year that you've budgeted, but you have $6,000 in revenue against it. That may look good to you. You see that and know that you're going to make a profit of $1,000 for the year. Now, let's look at budget versus cash flow from a different lens. Let's assume that you'll have $5,000 in expenses in January, but you don't get paid the $6,000 until March. Using cash flow, you can see that you have a potential problem because you must pay the expenses before the cash comes in. Can your business withstand the floating expenses like these before revenue comes in? These are important things to know. So developing your budget and looking at your cash flow forecast are important in instances like this. It's important for you as a business owner to be aware of how much you're spending versus how much you're taking in on a monthly basis. This will help you understand if the additional burden is going to be one that you can accept or if it could be devastating to your business. We've provided 2 scenarios below to show you what a budget versus cash flow will help support you in. Now, We've assessed your demand, talked about lining up your staff, developed a clear picture of your finances. It's time to look at creating a business plan. Let's talk about why a business plan is important. It's critical to have a game plan for your growth and make sure that you've taken a keen understanding of what you plan to undertake. How do you plan to operate your business? How are you going to line up families and children you need to bring in revenue to support this? If you have the staff on hand to make it a success, or if you'll have to add additional staff. You need to know if you have all of the facility permits and licenses needed to open and operate a business on time. You also will need to have the cash flow throughout at least the first year so that you can keep paying your bills and meet your obligations. Some other things that you need to think about when creating your business plan are documenting the needs in your area, understanding your current enrollment and the levels of services that you're looking to provide. Review your budget and cash flow to understand your financial position, and create a timeline for implementing all the things that you plan to do in your amazing work with childcare. In step 5, we'll look at access capital to support your growth. Accessing capital can be helpful because it provides money to help you grow and then make more money. However, you should make sure that you are able to handle any associated costs with accessing capital. Even the most successful businesses experience fluctuations in sales revenue, causing a disruption of cash flow. Having access to quick capital funding when sales revenue declines is crucial. Thank you for taking the time to view our presentation, Is It Time to Grow Your Business, for the Virginia Early Childhood Foundation. In today's conversation, we went over what are the initial steps that you should take before expanding your business, what resources are there to help you, and how business coaching can support you. You can find additional resources that are available to you at the Virginia Early Childhood Foundation's website at vecf.org/ARPA. And there, you can find helpful information that includes guides and videos, links to resources in English and Spanish, and even register for free business coaching. Thank you.